Hello, my friend Terry Petrovic here, and today I want to do a little training for you, and I call it the 5-step Facebook prospecting training system. The truth is that Facebook has well over 500 million users out there, and I really believe it is the ultimate prospecting hub. Now, the beautiful thing about this is it's free, and you can utilize this prospecting system any time of the day. No excuses, no reason why you can't do this. And I want you to understand that this approach that I'm going to be sharing with you is easy to do, which means it's 100% duplicatable. It's non-technical. Everybody can do this. So let's jump right in and cover the 5 steps. Step number 1, you have to be attractive. You need to attract the prospects. Step 2, you need to know where to locate your prospects. Step 3, you need to be able to connect with your prospects. Step 4, you need to know how to invite your prospects. And step number 5 is the follow-up and close. So let's look at step 1, attract. One of the things that you don't want to do is you don't want to post your business site, your opt-in for your company replicated site all over your profile. When you have your profile, some people will have 5, 6, I've seen probably as many as 10 websites in the info section. You don't want to do that. Not too attractive. It's probably going to run more people away than attract. Don't constantly promote your business and your products on your wall. I see some people out there and their enthusiasm, I appreciate it, but they're always talking about how wonderful their business is, how wonderful their product is, and how everybody needs it, when then the truth is not the case. You want to have a balance, I would say, of maybe 90% fun, interactive, informative stuff, and maybe 10% information about products or businesses that you're offering, something like that. And by all means, don't use cheesy lines or salesy lines on your profile. Be a professional. Look at successful people and model yourself after them. So whoever you admire out there who you think does a really good job on Facebook, model their profile. Model how they interact, because that'll make a big difference for you. And don't be negative. Don't be a whiner or complainer. Facebook is a place where people come to have fun, enjoy, learn, interact, and nobody likes a whiner. That's just simply the truth. So one of the things you want to do is you want to upload fun and cool pictures and videos and things like that. It could be personal, could be business. Again, let people in on who you are. What you don't want to do also is have a bunch of random games like Farmville or Mafia Wars or any of that kind of stuff. People aren't going to take you serious, as a business person. It's okay to interact with people and have fun, but there's a lot of people who just they're all about building their farm. Kind of drives me nuts sometimes. Again, be a positive person. Be somebody who other people like to be around. If you want to read a good book on this subject, get Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's a phenomenal book for engaging people. And by all means, even though your opinions might be strong, stay away from politics and religion. I think you'll attract more people that way. Create a wow impression when people are checking you out. You want to create, somebody kind of looks at your profile, looks at your fan page, looks at how you're interacting, and it's like, wow, that's incredible. Look at the number of fans this person has. Look at the number of friends this person has. Look at the number of people who are commenting on what they're commenting. Learn how to create viral comments. If you don't really understand how to do that, check the post I made on MLMleadschool.com about creating some viral comments on Facebook. Share with people what you're learning. Show some of your knowledge off, by offering generic trainings. And again, try to do this in a way where you're not pitching your product. People get tired of that. Tell people what you are learning. Share some valuable info in the social community. This is called social equity. The more you give to people, the more you're going to get. Now, there's nothing wrong with creating curiosity about what you're doing. I like doing that because it creates a buzz and people interact with you and private message you and all that kind of stuff. So, the whole goal here is to be professional and not hypey, and don't be one of those people that's always spamming. I hate people that actually do that. In fact, I unfriend people all the time when they do that. So let's talk about how do you locate your ideal prospects or people that you want to network with. Well, the first thing you do obviously is log into your Facebook account, and then at the top left there's a little magnifying glass, which is really the search feature, and it's going to allow you to find people with similar interests, groups that you might want to network with. And think about your high school or college or occupations, current and previous, gurus in the personal development industry or the internet marketing or MLM industry or whatever. It doesn't really matter. Here's basically how you do that. You see the at the top right, to the right of the Facebook, we have the little magnifying glass, and all I did is type in Robert Kiyosaki, not even finishing his whole name, and up pops his group and lots of others. The blank one there below with the pages is probably not his quote-unquote official page because there's no photo there, and yet it has 26,000 people liking that page, which is kind of crazy. Great way to interact with like-minded people. Success Magazine. I typed in the word success, and boom, that popped up there. If you don't have a subscription to Success Magazine, I highly suggest it. If you don't want to spend the money, get these Seeds to Success, which is kind of like an email newsletter. A lot of great information. Again, bread for the head, really important. You want to hang around people who like bread for the head, as Jim Rohn says. Search by people, events, and groups, by location. And when you find a group and you find a person that you want to make a friend with, always add a personal message to your friend request. They're going to treat it a lot more seriously. Here's an example of, I did a search for where I went to college, NC State University, and there's several. Athletics, 22,000 people. The alumni is over 6,000 people. Lots of things. I attended a network marketing mastermind event put on by Art Jonek. Generic training, phenomenal. He created a page for that. Unbelievably high quality people are attracted to that. So there's lots of groups, events, pages that you can jump into, again, 24/7, whenever you want, and start interacting with people and build relationships. And that's really step 3, is connecting with people. When you find somebody that you want to have a relationship with, you kind of want to check them out. I mean, not rocket science, right? You want to ask yourself, is this the type of person that you want to work with? Look at their profile. I mean, if they have a bunch of games and a bunch of political stuff on there, you might want to, give some long, hard thought if that's somebody you want to network with. Ask yourself, is this person in the country that my company does business in? And hopefully you're part of a business that pretty much has global reach. But if not, then, if you're only in the U.S., then makes sense to only network with people in the U.S. But if your company is expanding into another country, then maybe you want to start building relationships with people in that location. Again, think like an entrepreneur. Think like a business person. Think about what's coming. Think about trends. When you're interacting with people, find something that you have in common with them. This is the same thing as you being at a party and doing chit-chat. When you first get started and connecting with people on Facebook, it's about chit-chat. It's about connecting, finding where, you have something in common and not pitching your deal right away. Think quality, not quantity of friends. Quality, not quantity. The biggest benefit for you for making these connections and reaching out again is that you can do this any time of the day. So no more excuses. You work second shift, third shift. You got kids. You got 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there. You can make this work if you're serious and if you create the daily habits. Now that's a big if. A lot of people simply don't get serious enough to create the daily habits. One of the things that always works for me is I am consistent. I am relentless. I follow up like a maniac when I'm talking with people. I am very disciplined on myself, and you have to be as well if you're going to reach the high levels of success in this business. So here's a couple of examples of what you could say in terms of that initial quote unquote connecting dialogue. Hey, I see you're in my hometown. Nice to connect with you. What do you do for a living? Hey, love the picture of the dog. I've got a box or two. Good to connect with you. What do you do for a living? Hey, your comment made me crack up. I needed that. How you doing? Again, chit chat, interacting, building relationships. Once you start building that relationship, then you can move on to the engaging questions. What do you do for a living? What got you into what you're into right now? What got you into what you're doing right now? How'd you get started in your business? What do you do for fun? Again, pretty simple questions. Questions that you could ask people at a party. If they're in MLM or network marketing, ask the obvious questions. Are you full-time or are you part-time? What got you started with your company? How do you build your business, online or offline? You don't want to hammer them with 20 questions in the first email. It's going to be a back and forth thing. It's kind of like dating, a little chit chat. You say something, they say something. I like to refer to it as ping pong, back and forth, back and forth. It's about developing the relationship. Does that make sense? Here's some very obvious don'ts, and you've probably done more than one of these. Don't pitch people right away. Don't send them a link on your product or your business until they respond positively. Don't be addicted or attached to the outcome, meaning you really shouldn't care whether they want to be your friend or not. You're just kind of reaching out. It's like you're a server at a restaurant. You want the lunch special or not? Yes or no? I don't really care. Don't be attached. Don't feel quote unquote all rejected. Typically when people feel rejection, they're making it personal and they're making it about them. Don't make it about you. The people that last are the ones who actually build empires and become massively successful. Why? They probably get more no's. They probably get more I'm not interested or maybes. But you know what? They're in the game. They have a vision for success, and they don't let anybody steal their dream. Don't have an expectation that this is going to work overnight. It's not. When I first got started, it was probably 3 years before I had any level of success. And at one point, I was working with one of the top online or top internet, nope, the top network marketers in the industry came to my house, and even he didn't close anybody at my meeting. And you know what? It's okay. You got to do the numbers. It's kind of like the rite of passage. Be persistent, be consistent. Most people are going to quit. That's just a fact. Don't let that be you. Be consistent with your efforts and your work ethic. It's really, really important. Don't waste time with the wrong people once you know they're the wrong person. Sometimes people just chase people. They beg people, and you know what? That's no fun. It takes a lot of energy, and it's draining. So let's move on to step number 4, the invitation. This is after you've made a connection with them. You can say something like, I make money promoting, fill in the blank, about your business, and I teach people how to do the same thing from home. Now, this next one is something where they're not involved in network marketing and they have a regular job. Would you be interested in a side project that doesn't interfere with your current job? One of my favorite questions is, are you open to creating additional income streams? The answer is yes or no, or it depends. I like to say, tell me yes, tell me no, tell me quick, I got to go. I don't really care. If you're interested, great. If not, have a nice day. Because I know There's plenty of people out there looking for what I have to offer. Say to them, you know what? This may or may not be for you. If you are interested, great. I can send you a video. If not, no big deal. And you need to do it very casually, have good posture, not be attached, not say, oh, if you're interested, I got this really amazing video that I can send you, and you're going to learn how you can make $10,000 a month, and it's an amazing thing. You're going to love this thing. Don't do that. Be casual, be unattached. And make no mistake about it. Through repetition, when you master all these little sayings, you're going to create results. But if the prospect feels that you are needy, or the prospect feels like you keep calling them every other day or 3 times a day, they're going to say to themselves, this person's probably not that successful because they're spending all this time and effort and energy on me. And I don't want to do that to my friends. Make no mistake, my friends, do not pitch and convince. Sort. Look for people who are looking for what you have, and be patient. And just because somebody says they're not interested today doesn't mean they're not going to call you in 6 months or 12 months and say, hey, look, I want to talk to you about that business. True story. Recently, probably within the last 3 or 4 days, I've been interacting with somebody who was part of a company that I worked with probably 8 years ago. And somehow we connected on Facebook, and he'd actually been watching me, and I didn't know he was, and you never know who's going to be watching you. Long story short, he just enrolled in my business. And one of the things he said, I was hoping we could find a way to work together. But you know what? He went his way for a while, I went my way for a while. But as long as you're a leader and show up like a leader, you're going to attract people because they're going to see how consistent you are and what you do and how you grow and how you communicate. If you're a slime ball, you're not a slime ball, I know that. But if you were hypothetically, or you were too salesy, or a hard closer, or irritated people, you probably wouldn't have too many people call you back. And I'm shocked at the number of people who don't really know what's on their website. So be sure you know what's on your presentation websites so that you can kind of point people in the right direction. I've always said every presentation shouldn't be a presentation but a conversation. So know your stuff. Know your little script that works for your company and what's unique and where you want to send them. That's your job. Not hard to do. Print it out. Have it in front of you when you talk to people on the phone. Know the schedule of webinars and conference calls that are available for your company. Here's a great question that you want to ask somebody once they've expressed an interest. How soon can you watch this video or be on this conference call? You see, you want to create urgency and you want to treat your business like a business and you want to set appointments. Does that make sense? Write that down. Treat your business like a business. Set appointments. Because in step number 5, we're going to be following up. You want to call them at the appointed time. And you know what? Here's what I've discovered in the last 17 years of building this business, mostly over the telephone, mostly with cold market, is that the number one person who breaks the appointment is not the prospect, but it's the distributor. It's the representative that's not organized enough to say, okay, I have an appointment Thursday night, 7:15. The representative or the distributor doesn't call the prospect at that assigned time. Why is that? Well, my thinking tells me the distributor or the representative is not treating their business like a business. They're treating it like a hobby. And as a result, no surprise, they're going to get hobby results. Understand that most prospects will not have watched or attended what you asked them to do. Do not be surprised. Do not be offended by that. It just is. You know what? It's not that important to them. What it also says, though, is perhaps you didn't create the urgency and you didn't really indicate to them the payout. Because prospects are going to do things when they see a tangible payout. So maybe you didn't ask enough questions about their goals and why they would want to generate an extra income stream and what would that mean to them? Is it, college education, sending a child to a school, going on vacation, whatever is important for them. Understand prospects get started in your business for their reasons, not yours. Prospects get involved with your business for their reasons, not yours. Make sense? If they don't show up, apologize to them for not explaining the importance or value of the information that you were sharing. And when you do this, sometimes they're kind of like, whoa, take it back. Well, it's not your fault, they'll say. And it's interesting. Have fun with this, you know. Also have strong posture with this. Tell them that you have other people that you've got to get back to and you've got to prioritize your time. So if they're interested, great. If not, you got 3 or 4 other people to talk to. And don't lie, okay? Make sure your pipeline is full so that you always have people to talk to. That's your number one goal, is to fill your pipeline. When your pipeline is filled and you have 10, 20, 30 prospects to follow up and talk to, you're not really worried about if somebody's going to do this or not, because you know you got a whole bunch. But if you only got 2 or 3 prospects to talk to, and one person doesn't do what they said they're going to do, a third of your prospects are now flaking out on you, you might be freaking out. Well, you know what? That's your fault. That's your responsibility. Show up as a leader, get to work, get serious, and make stuff happen. If you need help, get with your leadership in your business. Find a coach, hire somebody to coach you. I remember when I was stuck at $5,000 a month in my business, and I just couldn't break through that mental bubble. I mean, it was like a barrier. I just couldn't get through. I hired a coach, and she worked with me. And, one of the things she told me, kind of hurt at the time, but it was true. She said, Terry, for things to change, you got to change. For things to get better, you got to get better. Some of that was mindset. Some of that was my language that I used. So when you have somebody and they actually did what they said they would do, ask them these questions. What did you like? How would you build it? How serious are you? And after each one of these questions, pause. Let them talk. Take notes. And every prospect you work with, you need to make sure that you're keeping consistent notes. You need to remember what's important with them. Because when you're talking to 20, 30, 50, 100 people, there's no way you can remember all of it. You'll remember bits and pieces, but keep an audit trail for yourself. Make your life so much easier. If they're positive and they have questions, do a 3-way call. And if you're brand new or relatively new, don't answer the questions even though you think you can, because you're setting them up for failure. You're setting them up for failure. They're going to do whatever you did to them, to their prospects. In other words, when you are prospecting them and taking them through the process, you're actually training them. When you're doing a 3-way call with a leader, one of the things I always like saying to a prospect, once I've been introduced and they turn the call over to me and I'm talking and answering questions, I said, Mr. Prospect, let me ask you a question. Could you do what Tommy is doing right now? And they'll stop. There'll be a pause. So what's that? I said, he's just taking notes on how this conversation is going. If you can do that, if you can put me on the phone with people, you can do this business. And you know what, Mr. Prospect? That's the fastest way I get you into a positive cash flow. All your job is simply to be as an inviter and turn the person over to me. Can you do that? And they always say, absolutely, I can do this. So what you want to do, my friend, is you want to do this over and over and over, again and again and again. It's wash, rinse, and repeat. This is a very easy business to do. Now, when you're first getting started in the business, especially for those of you who might have been in the business for a while or have done network marketing or an MLM before, and you want to do the online stuff, a lot of times people don't want to talk to their family and friends anymore. Well, if you got involved with a new business, something must have stood out for you. So I always encourage people to take a 20-80% approach. 20% is going to be your passive, your online, your learning, your advertising, and 80% is going to be active or building your business the same way that it's always traditionally been done, based on relationships, picking up the phone, meeting people, sharing what you saw in this. And again, if you are not attached to the outcome, it doesn't matter how many businesses you've done before. It doesn't matter. I mean, I'm in my 6th company right now. Does that look bad upon me? You know what? I don't know. It doesn't to me. And hopefully you've listened to my trainings before and you wrote this post-it note down. If you haven't, do it now. What people think of you is none of your business. Write that down. What people think of you is none of your business, because you know what? You're the one that's responsible for generating income in this business, not them. And you know what? So many times we let other people's thoughts or opinions of us impact our activity and our outcome. Shame on us for letting that happen. You need more personal development if you let that happen. So let's talk about the mechanics of a three-way call. And this is pretty powerful stuff. When you're setting it up, you're talking to your prospect, they have some questions, you can simply say, hey, look, hey, I'm going to try to get my coach on the phone. I never use upline. I don't want to use network marketing terms or anything like that, because they may not know what that means, or they might have a bad image of what that means. So again, I'm going to try to get my coach on the phone, but they're extremely busy. Hopefully I can get them so you can get your questions answered. I want you just to know that I may not be able to get them. Now, what this actually does, it creates the perception and the reality in your prospect's mind is that the people you're working with, the leadership team, is incredibly busy. They have a fast-growing team, and hopefully we'll be able to set a time when we can have that conversation. And maybe they're not available right away, but maybe you can set up a follow-up appointment. You know, hey, if they're not available when you call, that's okay. Set an appointment. It's really important that you do that. Now, when you get your upline on the phone, you are silent. You are a fly in the wall. I can't tell you how many times that I failed as a coach to tell my brand new distributor that, okay, once we get our prospect on the line, your job is to introduce me and then be quiet. Don't say anything unless I ask you to say something. So my job as a leader is to make sure that I tell my new person what to do and what not to do. Introduce me and be quiet. Now, sometimes enthusiastic distributors will want to interject, and you can't really stop them in the middle of that conversation. But if that happens, as soon as we hang up with the prospect, then I'm going to have a conversation with that distributor. Say, now, I had a very specific place I was going to lead this prospect down, and you took the energy and the focus away from that conversation. Please don't do that again. So remember this. Respect your coach, your upline. Once you do a three-way call, once you turn it over to them, you don't say anything. You take notes. Remember, they're probably more successful than you are. Learn from them. Make sense? Good. Start calling people on Facebook only after they've seen a presentation video or they've been on a conference call. They actually know something. Don't waste your time really, pounding the phones, I think, trying to interact with people when you haven't really connected or they haven't really seen anything. I always like to, have them jump through a hoop before I spend my time. It's just proven to work for me. Have passion. You got to be all in about what you're doing, because you know what? If you're not, prospects can see it and feel it. The truth is that if you're going to succeed in this business, it's up to you. It's not up to your upline, your sponsor, your product, your spouse or partner. You. It's up to you. If it's going to be, it's up to me. Write that down. If it's going to be, it's up to me. Put that on a post-it note. And another thing is that if you're struggling in your business, you're not having the success that you want, understand that something you're saying, maybe your energy is just not right. And, I experienced this myself, and I had to do more personal growth and more personal development. I had to work on myself, and maybe, just maybe, you or one of your team members needs to as well. It's not bad. It just is what it is. So work on yourself. Make sense? Good. And know that you can get to wherever you want from wherever you are. If you have vision, if you have focus, if you have that dream, don't let anybody steal your dream. Have the passion, have the vision, have the desire. Work hard, and you can do this. Trust me. I'm an example. I'm an example. I've earned millions of dollars in this business. It wasn't easy for me in the beginning. You know what? But it was worth it. I get up every morning when I'm done sleeping. I pick the people that I want to work with. Life is good. Life is good. My kids have had 2 full-time stay-at-home parents since they were 8 and 10 years old. It's a beautiful thing. It's worth working for. So I hope this has been helpful for you. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. Connect with me on my Facebook fan page. You see there I have a vanity URL. Hopefully you have a Facebook fan page and you can actually get a vanity URL. My address is facebook.com/fan of Terry Petrovic. Hopefully today's training has been helpful for you. Leave me some comments again below. Please pass this around to your team. If you have any questions or if you need any support, see me down below or shoot me a message on my fan page and I'll be more than happy to help you. My name is Terry Petrovic. Remember this, your success is my business. Make it a better than terrific day. Talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye now.